So once again, hello and welcome everyone to the 22-year show with Quad Cover Sports. আমাদের সাথে আজকে শিবাশিস ব্যানার্জি এবং আমান এহসান। আমি শান্ত দত্তা ফ্রম কোয়াড কভার স্পোর্টস। আজকে আমাদের যেটা মেইন বিষয় আলোচনা সেটা হচ্ছে আইপিএল অকশন। আমরা জানি গত 18th অফ ফেব্রুয়ারি আমাদের আইপিএল এর সংস্করণের নতুন যে অকশন সেটি হয়ে গেছে চেন্নাইতে, এবং সেখান থেকে নতুন দলগুলো নতুন ভাবে নতুন রূপে সেজে উঠছে। তো আজকে আমাদের সাথে যেই দুজন গেস্ট আছেন তাদের দুজনের কাছেই চলে যাবো, প্রতিটা টিম নিয়ে আলোচনা হবে। যেরকম ফার্স্টেই আমরা যদি চলে আসি, সেই হিসাবে আমি ফার্স্টে যাবো শিবাশিসের কাছে। শিবাশিস, এই এই যে নতুন ভাবে যে তুমি দেখলে টিমগুলো ব্যালেন্সড হলো, ফার্স্ট টাইম জিজ্ঞেস করবো তোমার কাছে যে এই অকশন থেকে তুমি কি দেখলে, মানে নতুন কি পেলে?
Actually, this auction has many things we have seen in this auction. Some of the uprising, some downfall, jeta bole, but the main thing which I noticed that the bowlers which the teams have bought are in a very high price. So I think this year's IPL is gonna be the bowlers' time, because the auction, if you have seen it totally, it has been এটা দেখা গেছে যে বোলারদের চাহিদা বেশি compared to the batsmen. So two of the top buy was Chris Morris 16.25 crore, which was totally unexpected, and also the Kyle Jamieson, who was bought for 15 crore. So these are the top buy I have seen in the auction, and এটাই বলার যে প্রত্যেকটা টিমই ব্যালেন্স, but সেটাও একটা ব্যাপার যে অন্য অনেক টিমদের এটাও দেখতে হবে যে দে হ্যাভ টু লিভ সাম প্লেয়ার্স ইন দ্য নেক্সট অকশন। সো দ্যাটস ওয়াই কিছু কিছু প্লেয়ার যেমন বাদ পড়ে গেছে, দ্যাট ইজ মার্টিন গাপটিল, জেসন রয়, দে হ্যাভ বিন নট বট বাই এনি টিম ইন দিস ইয়ার্স অকশন। সো ওইটা একটু খারাপ লেগেছে, এন্ড ওভারঅল ইটস এ ভেরি নাইস অকশন টু ওয়াচ।
এরপরে চলে আসবো আমানের কাছে। আমানের কাছে এই প্রশ্নটা ফার্স্টে নিয়ে যাব যে এই অকশনে আমরা দেখলাম যে কারোর কাছে যেরকম আরসিবি দুটো বড় বড় বাই করলো, 30 কোটি দিয়ে দুটো প্লেয়ার নিয়েছে। সেখানে যদি তুমি বাকি টিমগুলো দেখো, যেরকম ফর এক্সাম্পল কেকেআর, সানরাইজার্স হায়দ্রাবাদ, যাদের কাছে খুব অল্প পুঁজি ছিল অফ অ্যামাউন্ট অ্যারাউন্ড 10 crores, সেখান থেকে মানে এরকম ভাবে যে নতুন যে টিমটা মানে আরসিবি নতুন ভাবে যে তৈরি করলো টিমটাকে, তো এখান থেকে তোমার দাঁড়িয়ে কি মনে হয়েছে? আরসিবি টিমটাকে নিয়ে তোমার কাছে প্রশ্ন থাকবে যে এই টিমটা যে 50 কোটির একটা বড় বিগ অ্যামাউন্ট নিয়ে লড়লো, তো এদের টিমটা নিয়ে তুমি কি বলবে?
So RCB had a budget of somewhat 50 crores nearly, and RCB have this tendency of making a new team around every auction. This time they released a lot of players to get a lot of amount of money. Like they bought Chris Morris for 10 crores in the previous year's auction, and he was good for them. He had averagely taken 2 wickets per game previous season, but they released him. I don't know why. Maybe they thought that they could get him for lower price, which didn't work out. He was the most expensive player in the auction. But this time around, RCB has looked to take the workload of Virat and AB de Villiers, which they have been trying over the years, because Maxwell has not been performing well in the previous years of the IPL. But you can always expect as a viewer that he will change things around. And there's Kyle Jamieson, and Kyle Jamieson is a player who was purchased by RCB for 15 crores. Was it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have experience, but he is somewhat a player who is similar to a Morris or Ben Stokes, because he bats, he bowls, he just lacks experience. So this is much of a gamble by RCB. They can always sell the player next year and get the amount back in their banks for the auction. So this is a gamble which has been played by RCB. If this works out well, if Kyle Jamieson gets going, if Mohammad Azharuddin, the uncapped Tamil Nadu wicketkeeper, gets going, because Padikkal is already a good batsman now, and you have Virat, AB with Maxwell at 4. They sold Dubey, they'll play maybe Gurkirat Man Singh at 5. So the team looks good basically after the auction, but it's much of a gamble. If it doesn't work out, the team will finish 7th or 8th, and they'll try again next year in the big auction.
And also RCB have added Daniel Christian like bowling all-rounder as well in their team.
Yes, a bowling
So
all
he
rounder.
can
Thank
also,
Christian.
yeah.
Yes.
So the next question will be with Shivashish Banerjee. Shivashish, what do you think about the so-called old age team, Chennai Super Kings, after these auction? How you are looking onto the team?
Yeah, after this auction, I have seen many changes in Chennai. Though we used to say old age, but they have bought one of the best buy, I should say. And I
Yeah.
previously knew also that Moeen Ali was going to be picked up by Chennai only because Dhoni likes finger spinners a lot to bowl in Chennai pitch. So I knew it from beginning that Moeen Ali is favorite. Moeen Ali will be going to be the favorite pick of Chennai, as well as I was also amazed to see, and I also like that they bought Cheteshwar Pujara in the base price, as
Mhm.
they have gone for the auction, because I knew that they needed someone who is consistent in the opening, as well as can do the number three job also. So I think Pujara will help that, because last year we have seen that Kedar Jadhav was not didn't able to do that thing to push the score around 140 or 150 to add runs in the middle. So I think Pujara will help to do that if he bats out through at least 10 or 15 overs. So yes, that is the best buy. And some of the youngsters we have seen, some of the uncapped players they have also bought. So yes, that is the one thing I liked in Chennai's camp, and also they have the experience of Sam Curran, whom we saw last year was brilliant under the captaincy of Dhoni, and with the likes of Fab du Plessis in the opening, as well as Pujara and Rituraj Gaikwad, who
Yeah,
played
yeah.
in the last three matches and also scored 50 runs in
15
all of
each.
them. So I think they are gonna be go strong this year, and yes,
Raina's
it's
back
totally
too.
balanced. And yes, obviously, Mr. Cricket of Chennai, everyone used to say Raina. So he's also
Yeah.
back in the Chennai squad. So it's going to be a full-fledged house for Chennai. And I think there are no problems this year. They're not going to face any kind of problems, as with the batting we have seen in the last year, batting collapses, but not the bowling. So yes, it's very nice team, and I think this will help them to go for the winning chance.
Yeah, very good. Nice explanation from Shivashish. My next question will be with Aman regarding, it's a comment I can see from Devarshree Lahiri that RCB, Punjab, Rajasthan and Delhi এই চারটে টিম অকশনে each and every year storm তৈরি করে but খেলায় big zero. So my next question will be regarding Punjab Kings, the new name for the
Yeah.
Kings 11 Punjab, the Punjab Kings. The Punjab Kings একটা আমি দেখলাম যে একটা প্রচন্ড inexperienced but মাথায় রাখতে হবে হাইয়েস্ট উইকেট টেকার অফ কেএফসি বিগ ব্যাশ জাই রিচার্ডসন পার্স
Yeah,
কচার্স
Richards.
থেকে তাকে প্রোবাবলি নিয়েছেন। তো Aman, what's your thought on these by specially from the Punjab Kings? 14.25 crores for Jai Richardson.
Yes. The purchase of Jai Richardson was a decent purchase for Punjab Kings because they lacked a bowler previous year, and this team finished sixth in the points table. I feel KKR was fifth last year. They had the worst of starts for an IPL season, but they eventually got back on track. Things weren't working out in the games because they lost two super overs, one game by a margin of 1 run or 2 runs. So this year they needed someone who can take those wickets. Like if you're playing against Mumbai Indians, he can pick the wickets of Quinton de Kock and the likes of Rohit
Hmm.
Sharma. That gives the team an extra edge. And there were not much bowlers in the auction who could do that. Now you have Jai Richardson, the guy who has picked the most number of wickets in BBL. He is available in the auction, so they just went for. They had the budget in their banks, and he was going for. One would not have expected that he would go for more than 8 or 9 crores, but since he went for 14 crores, they had to make a tough call, just like KKR did last year with Pat Cummins, 15 crores.
Yeah.
So they tried the same, and I hope he'll work out because he's a player who can always pick wickets for you.
And one thing to be noticed is that they have gone for Maridith at the same time for 8 crores.
Yes,
So
yes, that is
two bowlers
probably
especially, yeah,
yes,
for
please.
22 crores they have got two specialists new for the very first time. Both of them will be playing in IPL, and they have bought both at 22 crores. What's your thought on these special?
Yes, so Jai Richardson, about him I told, but in case of Meredith, he's probably the most expensive uncapped foreigner player
Yeah,
to be sold in an
sure.
IPL auction, 8 crores. And that is also a kind of a gamble, which I mentioned in the case of Kyle Jamieson, because
Hmm.
last year Sheldon Cottrell was in the talks. His
Yeah,
iconic salute celebrations, his wickets of Virat Kohli's and Rohit Sharma in a series against India, he performed really well. So they went for him for somewhat 8 crores, but see that didn't work out for them. So I feel the purchase of Meredith was he was overpriced. They shouldn't have gone for.
yeah,
They could have gone for someone like a Nathan Coulter-Nile or someone who
yeah,
is a
true.
seasoned campaigner.
Actually, what's your thought on these Shivashish? Because I also think that as they have gone for two inexperienced player for 22 crores, they should have or would have gone for at least one experienced player who have the experience of playing IPL previously, and another could have been any of these Meredith or Jai Richardson. What's your thought on this?
I guess Jai Richardson would have been the choice because if you have seen him in Australia against India one series, he used to bowl a little bit faster. And Meredith, yes, he's completely a new bowler and also haven't played the international cricket and they have no experience of playing in India. But I think yes, after watching him in BBL, he's picking up his good idea. But Jai Richardson is, I should say that Jai Richardson is much more experienced and much more better bowler than Meredith. And yes, now we have to see that what happens because yeah, last time around we have seen Delhi, one of the Delhi fast bowler named, I guess, that South African speedster,
And Nokia.
Enrich Nokia,
Yeah,
who was not recognized too much during the bye because he came into the team as a replacement of Chris Oakes,
it was
and he did really very well and became one of the major bowler for them. So I think it will be seen latter half of the IPL that who performs and who gets the upper hand.
absolutely. The next question will be regarding the defending champions Mumbai Indians for both of you. At first, I will go to Aman with this question, and the question will be Aman that we know that Mumbai Indians have already been before the auction they had released 4 to 5 foreigners. I remember,
Yes.
and they have got specialized bowlers like Nathan Coulter-Nile, Adam Milne, I can see, and they have gone for some of the yes. So Nathan Coulter-Nile and Adam Milne, how you were seeing on these inclusions in this team, and also Jimmy Neesham.
Yes. So Mumbai Indians in the auction was a team. Mumbai Indians, KKR, and Hyderabad. These teams were the teams that had retained their core. So if they make any
Yeah.
purchase, it is unlikely that the player who they have purchased will be a part of the first team. Uh, And Mumbai Indians are the defending champions. They have won twice in the last 2 years. So no, not much of a change in the first 11. They have looked for backup of Trent Bolt because Trent Bolt has been sensational in the past few years. So they look for resting him for the big games because once they qualify, they don't want to risk an injury of Trent Bolt. They had Coulter previously, and they got him this time for 2 crores less than what they have purchased last year. And they have
Yeah.
also found Adam Milne, which was a bargain, I feel, because he is the bowler who hits the deck hard,
Yeah.
who will really complement Bumrah. So I'm excited to see how he performs in the IPL.
Absolutely. Uh, the next question will be Shivashish. There will be a thing that Shivashish on Steve Smith, especially. His base price was two crores and got sold to Delhi Capitals at 2.20 on the second bid of the day. It was. What's your thought on this? Didn't you expected the rise of Steve Smith a bit more, or is it okay?
Yeah, if you see that everyone expected the same thing in the auction, but I also have seen. I was also amazed to see such thing because Steve Smith, yeah, he's a very good batsman, one of the best batsmen in the world in red ball cricket. If you see, and also he had played brilliant white ball cricket in the ODI series, recent ODI series, which ended against India. He scored 2 centuries within 60 balls, but he didn't perform too much well in the T20 eyes. And yeah, I guess from a T20 point of view, if you see Steve Smith, Rajasthan Royals captain last year also didn't play too much well to be honored in this year's. IPL. But I think, yeah, 2.2 crore was not expected, and only one team bid for that player. That was also Delhi Daredevils, who already had some great players in their squad.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's the likes of Ricky Ponting. I think he wanted to get a new captain. There will be a discussion around in the Delhi camp to appoint a new captain. I don't know that what will happen. Shreyas Iyer will also can also continue, but yeah, it's mainly due to Australian superstar wanted another Australian superstar into his team to balance the side, because Delhi, if you see, already a balanced batting side. They didn't needed any extra batsmen, because Shikhar Dhawan last year got 200s, as well as they also had many Shreyas Iyer
Marcus
also,
Stoinis also in the middle.
Marcus Stoinis. But I think they needed a player who can settle, like just like I said in Chennai case, that Pujara, who will be doing the anchoring job in the middle but not hitting the ball too much hard. And I think, yeah, that's why Steve Smith was taken into the team to counter the bowling, to counter the batting attack and push the run to a good total.
Yeah, absolutely. And another question that I would ask Aman especially, that we have seen Piyush Chawla to be gone at 3.2 crores probably to the Mumbai Indians.
Yes, yes,
What's your
yes.
thought on these buy for the Mumbai Indians? Because they already have Rahul Chahar. Is that the replacement or backup for
Yes, I
Rahul?
feel Piyush Chawla first of all, he brings experience to the lineup. He has won the IPL trophy with KKR,
Yeah.
and he has been the bowler of Team India for quite a long time, a spinner. And Rahul Chahar is a bowler who picks the wickets for you, but he has been inconsistent. We had seen in the last few games he was hit for too many runs and he couldn't get the
Mm.
wickets. So I feel as long as Rahul Chahar is good, he's performing well. He'll be the part of the first team, a spinner along with Krunal Pandya, who's an all-rounder. Once Rahul Chahar doesn't start, well, he gets hit for runs, doesn't pick up wickets, is going through a bad form. You always have someone like a Piyush Chawla who can be a like-for-like replacement. So this was a great
Absolutely.
buy for MI.
Okay. And the next question will be regarding the Rajasthan Royals, who have got the the biggest buy probably of this auction. Yeah. So for my question to both of you, I will go to Shivashish at first. Regarding the Rajasthan Royals point of view, what's your thought on their team now and what it was last year?
I guess Rajasthan Royals, they didn't impress me in the IPL auction, because while I was watching the auction, I saw that they were continuously bidding for Chris Morris. I didn't knew why. And also they have picked up Shivam Dube along with Chris Morris. So I think that was not a great move. If you have picked up one foreign specialist all rounder, you should have gone for some of the young players. But yes, if you see from Rajasthan points of view, they have a very great bowler. They had a very great bowler, Jofra Archer, and also an all-rounder, Ben Stokes, and we along the likes of Josh Butler in the opening. So I think, yeah, it will help them. And I think Chris Morris, has he's the name all around everywhere in the social media, or everywhere you look in the TV, or anywhere in the any game analyst who are telling. I think he will perform, because last year, if you have seen RCB's performance in some of the matches, in the last when Chris Morris came back in place of Dale Steyn, they outplayed
Hmm.
many teams. And Chris Morris was bowling at right length, was also batting and adding some valuable runs at the end. So I think, yes, it's natural. And but from Rajasthan's point of view, it will be. I think it will be watchful to see what will happen later.
Absolutely. Uh, Same question with Aman. Aman, in from your point of view, who will be the replacement of Steve Smith in this team?
I believe that they have just completely changed their tactics now that they have Chris Morris, another
Hmm.
all-rounder who is a kind of a player like Jofra Archer. Jofra Archer also bats. He has given them runs. And there's
Yeah.
Ben Stokes, who is arguably the best all-rounder in the world right now. And then they have Josh Butler. So they have four foreigners, and this team on paper looks like it is relied much more upon these four foreigners, with
Yes.
Josh Butler as an opener with Sanju Samson. They don't have a Thappa this year. So I have concerns. They have Yashasvi Jaiswal. If he gets going, then it would be good for them. If he doesn't, then there will be a gap of who bats first down, who bats second down. After which Ben Stokes can come. Ben Stokes opened last year, which is also an option. So they are relying upon their foreigners. It will be exciting to see what they can achieve this year with this type of tactics, because I have not seen such type of tactics in any team in the past few years.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what's happening.
Yeah, my another question will be to Shivashish, especially that a buy which have given a big surprise, okay, and that was Shah Rukh Khan, the middle order batsman,
Yeah.
who went for 5 crores probably to the Punjab Kings. What's your thought on these buys, especially unknown batsman suddenly comes with, because we have already
Yeah,
seen it. Mm,
Shahid Mustaq Ali
go
Trophy, he
ahead.
played really well.
Yeah, yeah,
He played really well. I have seen that also, and yes, he's one of the great buy, I should say. And I thought that David Malan, who was picked up by Punjab too, being a KKR fan, I also expected that David Malan to come in KKR as a replacement of some of the, as a replacement, not, but as an opener. I thought that KKR should have gone to Martin Guptill or
yeah.
Aaron Finch or David
We,
Malan, but
we will
yeah, they
go with the
didn't win
KKR
for that.
fans. Yeah.
Yeah, but they didn't win for that, and Punjab picked up this valuable player. So yes, not only Shah Rukh Khan but Mohammad Azharuddin, who was also
Yeah.
picked up in RCB squad. And I should say that these names will seem to many people that who are they? Are they some of the stars whom we are naming? But no, they are some of the greatest players who have performed very well in Shahid Mustaq Ali Trophy, and that's why they have been picked up. So yeah, I will say Shah Rukh Khan is the best move for Punjab because you needed to uplift the Indian uncapped players in IPL. So that's why it's the name IPL. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's a great move by Punjab to pick up a Indian uncapped player who really performed well in Shahid Mustaq Ali Trophy. And yeah, it's overall a nice move.
Yeah. Great explanation from Shivashish. The next question will be to Aman regarding the team which had the least amount of money left along with KKR. It was Sunrisers Hyderabad. Got players like Jagdeep Suchit and Kedar Yadav this time. What's your thought on their plannings this time?
The key purchase was Mujibur Rahman for
Yeah.
3 crores, I think. And who is a person who has great chemistry with Rashid Khan, who is one of the key players of Sunrisers Hyderabad, and he is also a replacement for him because they both are spinners and they both are lethal when it comes to taking wickets. Hyderabad is the team that is relied upon its foreigners too, like David Warner, Kane Williamson, Besto, and with a bunch of
Mhm.
young kids like Priyam Garg, Abdul Samad, and Abhishek Sharma. Their bowling has always been one of the best in the IPL. The second was followed by Mumbai Indians. So this team didn't have much to do. They have got their replacements. Rashid Khan's replacement is Mujibur Rahman. You have got Kedar Jadhav, who can who you can pinch in the team in
Mhm.
place of one of the youngsters to provide a depth in your batting lineup. And then you have
Yeah.
they purchased a youngster too. I forgot the name, who also performed well in Syed Mustaqil Trophy. So they didn't have much to do. They just came to enjoy the auction, I feel, and they got their buys.
Yeah, actually. Uh, Another question will be with Shivashish regarding the buy of Krishnappa Gautam. We have seen that KKR was bidding at the very first and went for at least 5 crores on him, but Chennai just swept it on and got him from their hand. So 9.25 crores for Krishnappa Gautam. What's your thought on these buy in the Chennai Super Kings point of view?
Yeah, Krishnappa Gautam, if you see in one match, we have seen that he scored runs as well as picked wickets. Last year around, I have seen the same thing in a domestic T20 trophy, I guess. Yes, Krishnappa Gautam is one of the underrated player, I should say. And yes, KKR, I think KKR should not have gone to him because KKR already have some quality spinners. I didn't knew that why KKR was continuously bidding on some spinners because they have got Harbhajan, they have got Shakib, they have got Pawan Negi, as well as they have already have one of the last year's star named Varun Chakraborty, who really
Yeah.
impressed a lot in the latter half of the IPL, as well as they have Sunil Narine. So I thought KKR should not have gone with him. And similarly, if you see in the auction that every year KKR and Chennai beats for some of the finger spinners because their pitch favors a lot for these spinners. So I think yes, Chennai have got one of the gem of a player because Krishnappa Gautam can bat at last and at least 20 to 25 runs for the last 10 or 12 odd balls. So I guess it was one of the greatest buy for Chennai. And the price, yes, it's too much a little bit more, but I think he will try to impress with this price. And yeah, overall it was a nice buy. And yes, if you see in Chennai, they have left Harbhajan Singh and they have taken Moeen Ali, so it was a great replacement, I should say. And I was very much impressed with that buy of Moeen Ali because Moeen Ali was going to fit properly. If you have seen the last test in Chennai, Moeen Ali picked up 4 wickets in both the innings. So yes, it will help Chennai a lot. And
Yeah.
one of the major fact is that last time when one of the RCB player came into Chennai Super Kings went on winning the trophy. So I don't know that will this happen again in this year, but yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
And then comes the team from Kolkata, the Kolkata Knight Riders. We have seen the inclusion of the players like Harbhajan Singh, Pawan Negi, Vaibhav
We
Arora.
all are
Uh,
KKR fan. We three sitting
yeah,
here,
Yes.
all are KKR fan, and yes, we are
yeah,
too much impressed with
with
KKR.
Shakib
I
Al
knew that
Hassan, Karun Nair.
yes, Shakib Al Hassan, I knew that KKR would try to beat because if you see every year's auction of KKR, they always try to beat for the players they have already played for KKR.
Yeah, yeah,
Major
true.
examples are Owen Morgan, Pat Cummins, and this year Shakib Al Hassan. I knew it from the beginning that they will try Shakib because if you see last year performance of Russell, he didn't impress too much with the bat, rather he impressed with the ball. And if
Yeah,
Shakib and I think Shakib is the perfect replacement for Russell because if Russell failed, then Shakib could add some runs while coming into his position. And also in Bangladesh squad, if you have seen that Shakib used to come at number 3 and provide some valuable runs. So I guess yeah, that was the best buy. And also Karun Nair can open with
yeah,
Gill as well as we have Tripathi in the squad. And Harbhajan, yes, it was too much. I was totally amazed to see that buy. That Harbhajan Singh in KKR colors is a very much
yeah,
impressive because we know Harbhajan has a love with Eden Garden.
yeah,
And
yeah, true.
2001 Test series against Australia, everyone was talking about that. That welcome home Harbhaji, and yeah, that was and Pawan Negi also. I was also impressed with that.
Yeah, same question with Aman. Aman, how are you impressed or means how are you amazed by these buys from the KKR point of view?
To be honest, I was really impressed by KKR in this year's auction because with the amount of budget they had, they got in a lot of players, and many of the players they got at a really low price. Harbhajan
Yeah,
Singh is a spinner, and he can still be as lethal as he was at the peak of his career. Then
true.
you have Karun Nair, who was during the time of 2014 to 2016 was always going for 6 to 7 to 8 crores in the IPL auction. So they have
Yes.
Karun Nair too because last year KKR lagged one thing that the top three consisted of young players and they tend to lose wickets in the early phases of the game. With
Yeah.
Karun Nair in the squad, you can, if that doesn't work out, the young players, you can always play him at number three in place of Nitish Rana to provide the depth, followed by Owen Morgan, DK, and Russell, which is probably the best middle order in the IPL. So I'm really
Yeah.
impressed by the team, and I really believe they'll go for the trophy this year.
Absolutely. And to be very honest, means inclusion of there the Pawan Negi, then the inclusion of the Shakib Al Hassan, these actually will bring up huge boost to the replacement of the main team players. May it
Yes.
be Russell, may it be Pawan Negi can be used in that 7th to 8th batsman position after Pat Cummins. So it will be a huge batting lineup for the KKR point of view. And we have our
And with the
Cummins here.
inclusion of Harbhajan,
Yeah,
with
and
the
with the
inclusion of
inclusion,
Harbhajan,
he can do the mentorship as well of the other
yes,
spinners as well.
he's the person who can change the dressing room scenario.
Yeah, yeah,
The likes of
true.
Kuldeep Yadav and Varun Chakraborty will surely benefit from him. So this was a great auction
Yeah,
for
yeah,
KKR. Really impressed.
yeah. And we can see Devas. Devarsi Lahiri with the lineup as well. Gil Tripathi.
Yes.
Then comes Rana, Morgan, Karthik Russell, Shakib, Cummins, Varun, Vaibhav, and Nagarkoti. Okay, he is keeping Vaibhav Arora. We have seen Vaibhav Arora's bowling as well. He's a tremendous bowler. I have seen his some of the games as well. So he's keeping Vaibhav Arora in the team. It's really nice to see. But we all have thought that maybe KKR will go for some of the Bengal buys as well. For example, on uh, the Bengal batsman opener, I forgot his name. Shivashish, can you remember the Bengal opener? Uh, I totally
See,
got
no.
Srivastava from Sunrisers Hyderabad. Uh, So we thought that they
Shrivars
would have
Goswami.
gone for him. No, probably no. He got 100 in this side, Mr. Kali only, the opener for Bengal. Uh, but Singh, whatever it is,
Ojumdar, I guess he played.
no. So whatever it is, Vivek Singh, yeah,
Vivek Singh.
yeah. So Vivek Singh, yeah, 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 yeah. Devasri is writing that it's Vivek Singh, yeah. It's absolutely right. And so we thought that they will go for him, but they didn't, and they went for Karun Nair. So we think that it will be a great replacement and a great boost to the team. Along with Shubman Gill, it was really needed because we were seeing that there was no frontline opener, actually a permanent opener for this team, along with Shubman Gill in the top order, and they will really benefited with this buy. So it was a nice thing, but I will ask both of you at the last that which buy had made you most surprised this time. First, I will go with Aman.
The most surprising buy for me was obviously the Harbhajan Singh buy for KKR because that just stands out. You never expect Harbhajan Singh to be bought by KKR. I was really surprised to know that it happened.
Uh,
I couldn't see
I
it
had a
live, but then I had to ensure it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I have a explanation to this. If you see, KKR always wanted a backup spinner for Sunil Narine because Sunil Narine, in maximum time, if you have seen that he goes out in the recent T10 league, we have seen that he goes out while opening and gets out very in the first over only. So that's why they didn't. So that's why KKR knew that they can't play more than four foreign players, and they should go with Narine always. So I think Harbhajan is the backup of Sunil Narine because if Sunil Narine cannot play well, then he could be easily replaced by Ben Cutting or with any other foreigner like Shakib Al Hassan. I think because they will not replace Andrew Russell very easily, so they can easily replace Sunil Narine with Shakib Al Hassan, and they can play Harbhajan in that place as an Indian spinner, and that place will be fulfilled because they have already bought many spinners. Pawan Negi also been bought in KKR, so I think
mhm,
that will not create problem if Sunil Narine does not plays. So yeah, that is one
absolutely.
of the explanation that's why they have gone with Harbhajan Singh because they should have also gone with Moeen Ali, but I think that they have not gone with that, and they straight went to Harbhajan as he was experienced and he can also help and guide the youngsters.
Absolutely. And there they have also included they also have the experience and the opener called Tim Seifert from New Zealand as well. So he can
Yeah,
do the opening as well. So there will be not
yeah,
any kind of problem this year. What we have seen in the last year. The
yeah,
inclusion of means they are now having three good quality fast bowlers of means four good quality fast bowlers with Pat Cummins, Lockie Ferguson, Ben Cutting and Andrew Russell. They're having their batting with Shakib Al Hassan, Jan Morgan, and Team Seifert in the opening. So it will be a nice team, I think. Uh, so
yeah,
the it was a uh, nice program with both of you, Shibashish and Aman. We will be
Yeah.
back again with both of you just before the IPL of 2021, and most importantly, we will be back with you in after the India versus England Test series. We will have a post series.
Yeah.
One second, the computer. Yeah, so we will be having the program as well on that point of time. So thank you both of you, and thanks to the audience for having us with you. Uh, Stay tuned with Quadcover Sports. We will be right back after some time. Thank you.